Resident Evil 4 Remake leads state of play numbers, Sony first party games rely on Call of Duty, Bloodborne PC port rumors denied by Virtuos, new previews hype Final Fantasy XVI, all that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. Resident Evil 4 Remake leads state of play numbers. About a week has passed since the latest state of play. Let's take a look at what people have watched the most about it. In the lower end we have Before Your Eyes with 20,000 views, and the other 4 PSVR 2 games announced with less or around 50,000 views. Not a surprise given PSVR 2 has just been released and it's pricey, so this doesn't speak to a lot of people. On the indie front, Chia, Goodbye Volcano High, Wayfinder and Humanity got 60, 63, 77 and 93,000 respectively. Some decent numbers since indie games on the PlayStation channel usually do around 15 to 40,000 views. Moving up in the ranking we find Destiny 2 Lightfall with 126,000 views, followed by Baldur's Gate 3 with 200,000, and the not so warmly received Suicide Squad has gathered 406,000 between the gameplay and behind the scenes videos. Those same Suicide Squad videos did 165,000 and 32,000 views respectively on the game's official channel, which has 10.2 thousand subs compared to PlayStation's 14.7 million. I may be biased here since I didn't like the gameplay, but this doesn't seem a whole lot for a licensed DC game, given Suicide Squad is not as popular as other properties from the company. Also add that both videos are the most disliked by 82% of viewers. In the top 3 we have the Naruto Cross Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm trailer with 525,000, Street Fighter 6 trio of character trailers have 648,000 views, and easily at the top is Resident Evil 4 Remake's third trailer with 1.4 million views. Resident Evil is also the most liked trailer by 99% of people watching, followed by Street Fighter 6 and Baldur's Gate 3. The state of play overall gathered 64% positive reception among its 1.66 million views, adding up the English, caption and Japanese streams, which doesn't seem that bad when compared to the September state of play, which has gathered 1.97 million views so far, so this one was only 310,000 views from beating that. Still nowhere near close to the June 2022 state of play, easily the best from last year, driving a total of 3.28 million views. According to our poll here on the channel, you guys also liked Resident Evil 4 by far, with 66% of the votes. What was your favorite game from the state of play? Let us know in the comments. Sony first party games rely on Call of Duty? As part of the CMA Phase 1 investigation, Sony has revealed that they rely on Call of Duty to invest in first party games such as God of War, The Last of Us and Horizon. The claim was spotted by Twitter user Derek Strickland, and while most of the numbers are redacted, it indicates Call of Duty players spend more than $1 billion on PlayStation hardware, peripheral, subscription, games and other SIE services. And that Microsoft's foreclosure strategy of acquiring Activision may cause Sony to lose significant revenue and diminish their ability to fund further investment. This is part of continued attempts by both Sony and Microsoft to present themselves as the underdog to sway regulators to their side. While Sony's claim may not be incorrect, it's a little bit misleading given they have many income sources from the PlayStation Store and other third-party publishers that also fund their investments. It just happens that Call of Duty may be one of the biggest. In related news, a new rumor points out to Microsoft probably preparing a 10-year deal package to offer all Activision games, not only Call of Duty, to competitors as a remedy for regulators to allow the acquisition. What do you think about these developments in the Microsoft Activision case? Voice your opinion in the comments. Deep Rock Galactic is another PS Plus success. January 2022's PlayStation Plus title Deep Rock Galactic has become a hit for Ghost Ship Games, giving it launch straight into the service. That's according to the studio CEO Soren Lundgaard while talking during the latest Embracer Group's earnings call. He said they broke all the records on player numbers and revenue with the release of Season 1, and it also surpassed our 1.0 PC release, paving the way for where the game is today. Deep Rock Galactic is a live service game that offers unique procedurally generated maps with co-op FPS gameplay and was very well received among critics. The title now joins other PS Plus successes such as Rocket League and Fall Guys, although the service has also represented a failure for other games such as Oddworld Soulstorm or Velocity 2X. We already talked about that previously in another video on the channel, which you can check here. Have you played Deep Rock Galactic? What do you think about it? Share with us in the comments. Bloodborne PC port rumors denied by Virtuos. Back when Horizon Zero Dawn launched for PC, it had major frame rate and crashing issues, which made Sony bring Guerrilla and Nixxes to eventually fix them. According to Spanish podcaster Bait, speaking on the YouTube channel The Wild Project, Sony scrapped the Bloodborne PC port being made at Virtuos after they failed the Horizon port. However, Virtuos has said they have never worked on a Bloodborne PC port or had any discussions regarding From Software's game in a statement to GameRant. It's still unclear if Sony indeed decided against more collaborations with Virtuos given the issues with Horizon. Rumors on Bloodborne PC and PS5 ports have been around for a long while, and it seems fans will have to keep waiting to see if they eventually turn out true. Do you think we'll ever see a Bloodborne port on PC and PS5? Sound off in the comments. Naughty Dog's attention to detail for The Last of Us Factions. Naughty Dog is hard at work at The Last of Us Factions, and if you wanted the game to have improved door animations, you are in luck. Lead animator Maxim Surablov shared that after finishing The Last of Us 2 door animations a few years ago, he thought they would be able to reuse them for any future games. Apparently he was wrong, as director Vinit Agarwal confirms. This could mean they are planning for more stealth sections, or who knows, maybe we'll learn more later this year. Naughty Dog's attention to detail has been brought up in the past with examples such as breaking glass in The Last of Us Part 2, but it also meant the team crunched a lot for that. They have supposedly fixed the crunch issue, so hopefully it won't lead to that this time. In related Last of Us news, if you are playing the games and streaming or creating content, be careful since the HBO show has copyright claims on videos from creators, as shared by YouTuber Speclizer, who had around 50 videos struck for using the music of the game. And now that we mentioned the show, they delivered a fantastic episode 6 all about the Left Behind DLC, but according to some users online it's the worst episode, as they have review bombed it with 1 star on IMDb based on the queer representation. Actress Storm Reid, who played Riley in the episode, spoke with Variety about the backlash, saying, "There are so many other things to worry about in the world. I think being concerned about who people love is just absurd to me. I will never understand it." What do you think about these Last of Us stories? Let us know in the comments. New previews hype Final Fantasy XVI. Many outlets had the chance to get their hands on Final Fantasy XVI for the first time in a 2-hour build that included story plus character and icons combat. The story is what we have already learned about a war for magical crystals, with the summons known as icons that are key to winning that war, and they are controlled by a dominant of each region. Combat is a lot more action focused, as it was designed by Ryota Suzuki, who worked on Devil May Cry 5 and Dragon's Dogma. You have an attack, magic and icon button, so you can string combos and skills, plus you have access to another set of icon based skills by pressing one of the triggers for more dynamic combat. Icons combat was also a highlight given the epic scale they convey, as 2 beasts fight straight in a fighting game, plus it uses some quick time events. They are also aiming to be more accessible, as the game doesn't have a difficulty option, but you can make it easier or harder based on a specific gear, for example 1-button combat or auto level up. It seems most outlets enjoyed what the team at Square Enix achieved with the game in both story and combat, although combat can be alienating if you are a purist of the series. The next info drop of the game will be in April, according to a Famitsu interview shared by Twitter user Aida Kimoshi, and they will talk about side quests, monster hunts, exploration, shopping and crafting. Final Fantasy XVI is said to be a 35-hour game for the main story, while alongside all optional content it can reach around 70 to 80 hours. Square Enix will also release a playable demo around 2 weeks before launch that could be an action demo or the beginning of the story, with a save data transfer option towards the full version of the game. Final Fantasy XVI launches this June 22nd for PS5. Producer Naoki Yoshida has clarified the game's exclusivity to be 6 months, but that doesn't mean a PC version will release in half a year after that. Will you be playing Final Fantasy XVI at launch? Share with us in the comments. Now let's go for a round of quickfire game news. Sony has released firmware 4.90 for PS3. Yes, you heard that right, PS3. The update for the now 17-year-old console improves system performance, likely shutting any loopholes it may have, since the PlayStation Store is still working there after fans convinced the Japanese company to not shut it down. PlayStation Classic The Legend of Dragoon launched last week on PS Plus, and it had a lot of performance issues, including visual bugs and soft locks during combat. The good news is that Sony has already launched a patch this week that appears to fix all the problems. From Software has announced Shadow of the Earth 3, an upcoming expansion for Elden Ring, is now in development. They didn't give any more details, a release date or a trailer, but share a nice artwork from it that fans may be able to start speculating about. Obsidian has confirmed the long-rumored PS5 remaster for The Outer Worlds featuring increased level cap, DualSense support, 4K 60fps gameplay, higher resolution graphics, a dynamic weather system, overhauled lighting and environments, improved performance and load times, enhanced details on characters, and more. The Spacer's Choice Edition comes out this March 7, and if you already have the original and both DLCs, you will be able to upgrade for 10. Forspoken developer Luminous Productions will merge with Square Enix on May 1st, a weird announcement since the studio was founded by Square to make games on the Luminous engine. Apparently the team will be folded into Square with the studio ceasing to exist, a decision likely related to the tepid Forspoken reception after a troubled development cycle. Hitman developer IO Interactive has announced they are embarking on a new adventure as they began work on a new online fantasy RPG and shared the first artwork of the game. It's unclear if the game will be launching on PS5 given the title has been long rumored to be an Xbox exclusive with Microsoft being the publisher. Still, IO's announcement doesn't mention any platform or publishing partners, so there's a chance. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. What are your thoughts on them? Share them in the comments below, let me know your feedback by liking or disliking this video, check out other videos you may enjoy while you're here, and consider subscribing for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!